We begin tonight with a severe weather alert. The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for parts of southern New England.
And you can see the storm here on live Pinpoint Doppler 12 radar. This warning is for residents in northeast and west Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts.
All right, let's give you a live look right here. This is Foxborough. Now, according to National Grid's website, there have already been reports of a few hundred power outages.
And we have severe weather team coverage tonight. First, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca. Tony.
Tracking a number of thunderstorm complexes that are severe, and in one case we still have a tornado warning associated with one cell now moving through interior southeastern Massachusetts. So a lot to cover. Let's first start with the tornado warned cell. This is a storm that actually was going through Woonsocket, Bellingham, Massachusetts, and out towards Franklin, Mass. What is left of it right now, and it's still a healthy storm right now in between Brockton and Bridgewater, and it did go through the outer boroughs and near Foxborough right now. This has been tracking off to the east and northeast at about 35 miles per hour as it continues to head towards the Massachusetts coastline. Elsewhere, you see another complex of storms that are severe. It's this area of orange and yellow right in here, really crossing the bay right now and out towards from roughly Newport and Tiverton. Here at our studios in East Providence, we can hear thunder as well with some very strong wind gusts associated with this. In fact, it's a severe thunderstorm. A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued with this particular cell or this line of thunderstorms, and this continues to track off to the east and northeast now at about 35 miles per hour, heading towards Little Compton and eventually towards New Bedford, Fall River, and Somerset, Massachusetts. So take cover. Elsewhere, we're getting a little bit of a break off to our west. We don't see too much right now, but we'll certainly keep the risk of additional showers and thunderstorms once this complex goes by. We're going to show you some watches and some warnings as well as some live pictures as well. The tornado warning remains in effect for the areas in purple. This is essentially from in between Brockton and Bridgewater, Massachusetts. So we have seen some weakening of the rotation. So as far as this being a massive tornado on the ground, we don't certainly see that. And now we've had pictures come in, and we're going to try to get them on the air very shortly. In fact, TJ is working on that right now of what looked like a funnel cloud about 45 minutes ago in between Woonsocket and Bellingham, Massachusetts. Pretty impressive picture. We'll show you that in just a second. But that's the cell that's now over southeastern Mass, and the reason why a tornado warning has been issued. Elsewhere across Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts, there's no tornado warning, but the potential is there for an isolated tornado. This area in red, which is essentially all of Narragansett Bay into Newport County and southeastern Massachusetts right now under a severe thunderstorm warning, meaning the potential for large hail and at least some damaging straight line wind. Whether or not a tornado can be formed within this complex remains to be seen, but right now we're not seeing any circulation on Doppler radar. So now through at least 8 o'clock, damaging wind gusts in these storms, hail, very frequent cloud to ground lightning, and that risk of an isolated tornado. This is actually something that we were talking about last night as far as the potential that some thunderstorms could produce an isolated tornado. So no surprise here. The threat tracker, it's not often we get into this red category, but in the extreme category now through 11 o'clock tonight, as the tornado watch is in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. Let me step out of the way. You can see darker clouds. We're looking off to the west and northwest right now, downtown Providence right now with some of the storms that are working through, along with some strong wind gusts. Now down along Narragansett Town Beach, based on the radar now, we're seeing these storms moving away from Narragansett and Narragansett Town Beach. Just about a half hour ago, it was really coming down with some strong wind, but we're seeing those storms now crossing away from Narragansett out across the bay, heading towards Little Compton, Middletown, and now passing over Newport right now. And in Oakland Beach, boy, the water was just kicking up with some very heavy chop and some surf just 30 minutes ago in a strong thunderstorm. That complex is now moving away from the Oakland Beach section in Warwick. There were people taking cover here just a little while ago in some very strong wind, and things have improved a little bit. And even in Providence right now, this picture was pretty stormy just 20 minutes ago as that storm now continues to move south and east away from the city. So far we just have light rain and no severe thunder in the Providence area right now as that storm continues to pull away. The tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock this evening. Watch means potential or the possibility of a tornado, whereas a warning means two things. Either a tornado has been spotted on the ground or Doppler indicates that there may be a tornado forming inside of a thunderstorm. Again, most of our area, there's no tornado warning at all, with the exception of that one cell that's moving through Brockton, Massachusetts right now, right in here. But even here, we're seeing signs that this rotation within this storm has been weakening. So good news there. But still, we want to go over some tornado safety rules just based on what's going on in the last 30 to 45 minutes. If you're seeing this for the first time, doesn't necessarily mean that there's a tornado warning in your area, but that we're just going over this for obviously common sense. Get to the lowest floor of your house. If no basement, get to an interior room, away from exterior walls and away from the windows. Evacuate mobile homes immediately. Even in some of these stronger thunderstorms that are not producing any isolated weak tornadoes, some of these straight line winds, or what we call microbursts, can be very dangerous as well. And again, stay away from windows, avoid automobiles for escape as far as severe weather passing through, and again, leave a mobile home for a safe and sturdy structure. Two kinds of a thunderstorm damaging wind. One is called the microburst, and quite simply, that's a straight line wind that falls out of the bottom of the thunderstorm and spreads out in all directions. There's no twisting within it, and that's pretty much some of the common wind damage that we've seen in some areas, including nearby Connecticut. The other is more obvious, and that is the tornado, and there's the possibility that there may have been a confirmed either funnel cloud or weak tornado that had gone through near Woonsocket and Bellingham about an hour ago, and that cell is now moved across towards Brockton and Bridgewater, Massachusetts. If no basement, again, we talk about go to the interior portion of your room. And again, we're showing this only as a safety precaution should another tornado warning be issued. But what a lot of people will do if they don't have a basement, they'll go to the interior portion of their room, away from the outside walls or the outside windows, and sometimes, as ironic as this may sound, actually take shelter in a tub with a heavy blanket thrown over you. But again, as far as a big outbreak of widespread severe tornadoes, we're not seeing that right now, other than that one isolated possible tornado that was passing through interior Massachusetts a little while ago. Also take note of the cloud to ground lightning strikes. While very numerous, they have been weakening as far as the lightning strike count. So while these storms are still strong, I'm seeing a little sign now that they may be weakening just a little bit. It's all ahead of this cold front now in upstate New York. This is pretty much the trigger setting off scattered showers and thunderstorms. So while this complex will be moving through very shortly in the next hour, we may get into a bit of a lull. Until the front comes through, we have to watch for the potential for additional thunderstorms that will be passing through later on this evening. Certainly by 11 o'clock, things will be improving dramatically, but severe thunderstorm watch off to our west, and the tornado watch covering a good portion of New England until 11 o'clock this evening. As we get in real close and take a look at the Futurecast for this evening and overnight, well, first of all, we'll go right to the 7-day Futurecast. So things improving once we get beyond 11 o'clock tonight, and there's certainly much better weather by Wednesday and Thursday before we bring in some cooler weather, much cooler weather for Friday and right on through the weekend. Should anything change dramatically as far as severe thunderstorms or tornado warnings, we'll certainly interrupt our newscast once again, give you that information. But you can see the complex of storms now pulling away from Narragansett Bay. New Bedford, get ready. This is headed your way, as well as Little Compton out towards Horseneck Beach, and Buzzards Bay will get hit very hard shortly as well. And that tornado-producing thunderstorm cell now is south of Brockton and pulling away. Elsewhere, we don't have any tornado warnings right now. And notice the lull off to our west. It's kind of quiet. So once this complex goes through in the next hour, we'll get into a lull for perhaps a few hours, and then we'll watch for the potential for more storms forming later on this evening. We're going to go back to the Weather Center right now with TJ, digest some more weather information, and we'll be back shortly.